In a year full of dull shooters, Battlefield 5 doesn't do much to put the genre on the map in 2018. I'm Jordan, and this is Noisy Pixel's review of Battlefield 5.
Allez, garde ton calme.
DICE has taken a step back once again from covering the modern age with Battlefield 5, instead opting for a World War II game, which seems appropriate considering Battlefield 1, the previous entry, took place during World War I. DICE has decided to revisit a less conventional campaign once again with Battlefield 1's war stories. It's worth mentioning that this review is based on the game as it is on December 17th. Many of the features that weren't included at launch are now in the game, including an additional campaign, so I'm going to score the game as fairly as I can based on that. If you're unfamiliar, war stories are a small set of tiny campaigns that cover different tales from World War II. While I'd be lying if I said I wasn't craving a more conventional storyline that had me invading the beaches of Normandy or rushing through the streets of Berlin in the Frostbite engine, what DICE has decided to cover here is admirable, as many if not all players who aren't history buffs will find that the content here is really unique, and I give the team a lot of credit for tackling such small stories in such a big war. I played each campaign on the hardest difficulty, and I'd say that they're all pretty enjoyable. The weakest being the earliest storyline that has you playing as an English special unit. The remaining three are far more interesting. Additionally, many of the campaigns feature characters who speak in their native languages, a really nice touch that adds a sense of realism to each one. Overall, if you're looking for heavy single-player content, you won't really get it with Battlefield 5. The 4 campaigns took me around 6 hours to complete on the hardest difficulty.
Are you sure about these bombs of yours?
This safe pack of specials? They'll blow this place to pieces, mate, don't you worry. What if I get caught, though? You're just gonna piss off and leave me, yeah? Get all the glory yourself?
Glory? There ain't no fucking glory, son.
The bulk of your time will be spent in the game's multiplayer, which has been dramatically changed since the last couple of entries in the series. DICE has completely overhauled squads, almost in a defiant step towards making players more aware of what's going on in-game. With the ability to spawn on your squad mates and pick them up after they've been down, a squad that plays together certainly wins together in Battlefield 5.
Gotcha, chum.
Additionally, each of the 4 combat roles have become wildly different from one another. Medics can now pick up any downed teammate and administer health packs to everyone, and they do so much faster than other units. Recon units are the only ones who are able to mark enemy units and enemy vehicles. Support units are equipped with ammo packs, while assault units are the best equipped for a multitude of fights, but can be rather useless on their own. Regenerating health has been completely eliminated from the series. Each unit starts with 1 medkit, while the medic unit has an endless supply. If you're shot, not all of your health is going to come back, so you have to be aware of it. This stops any potential run-and-gun methods, as players will have to be aware of their HP. This follows over into equipment as well, as you'll be given considerably less ammo at spawn. Small bundles can be picked up from enemy units, but the bulk of ammo can only be acquired through support units and supply crates. These new changes do well in making sure players are tackling Battlefields online with much more consideration to everything than just running and gunning. Vehicles also make a return in Battlefield 5, and they feel better than ever. DICE has mastered making vehicle control very accessible to players who may be intimidated by it in other games. Whether you're flying an airplane or driving a tank, a few minutes of use will have you accustomed to how they control.
Attention, we're losing objective Baker.
There are 9 maps currently available in Battlefield 5, from European countrysides to formerly bustling cities and outposts located in North Africa. Each map is varied, but leaves a little more to be desired compared to maps in previous entries. There isn't a single one that sticks out to me personally, but in that regard, the United States and Russia are notably absent from all corners of Battlefield 5, and with that, it would have been nice to see more maps based on the first entry in the series, Battlefield 1942. Not because I'm a sucker for nostalgia, even though I am, it would have been nice to see these iconic set pieces recreated in Frostbite 3. Where Battlefield 5 doesn't falter is in its sound design. DICE has produced one of the most realistic sounding depictions of war to date. I often find myself cringing at the bloody screams echoing throughout the battlefield. The sounds of bullets grazing ever so close to you, smashing into walls throughout a city, or dirt on an open field put me in an actual World War II movie. It's fantastic and easily one of the best qualities Battlefield 5 has to offer. Many guns from the Second World War feel great, and it's nice to finally get a chance to go hands-on with them again in a video game. Battlefield 5's main weapon list is over 40 weapons strong, with several additional sidearms and a host of melee weapons to choose from. Surprisingly, DICE has done a really good job at buffing out bugs that I heard many players dealt with at the launch of Battlefield 5. There are some technical hiccups here and there, unsurprisingly, but the game really does look spectacular and plays very solid. Overall, Battlefield 5 is a fine entry in the series. In its current state, it's totally not perfect by any means, but what we have here is an acceptable package that I think was just pushed out the door a little too early. I'd say it's the weakest Battlefield we've gotten in some time, which is disappointing considering it covers World War II. With more DLC coming later and free content drops to all players, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the team over at DICE has next down the pipeline. Noisy Pixel is giving Battlefield 5 a 7.5 out of 10. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, tell us what we could do better in the comments down below, and if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to do that. Thank you so much for watching.